Welcome back to the news at 10. Well, here are some photos you sent in to our Eyewitness portal. We'll begin at Alakbere Estate in Ketu area of Lagos State. This photo shows these volunteers cleaning up a canal blocked with refuse. Our Eyewitness reporter commends their effort. Our next report shows the aftermath of heavy rains in Ogutu area in Ikorodu, Lagos State also. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the state authorities to create larger drains. Similarly, this photo was sent in from Ogunfunwa Street in Ogijo area in Ogun State. It shows these men trying to find a footpath back to their homes. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the state government to fix this road. The next photo shows a fallen electricity pole. Our Eyewitness reporter says the pole fell along Moshalashi area in Shomolu, Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking relevant authorities to replace this pole and avert any mishap. But that photo, yes, that's the photo we're talking about, the fallen pole in Moshalashi, Shomolu. And the next picture is showing the impact of erosion on Shagari Tureta Road in Sokoto State. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the government to intervene before portions of the road are totally cut off. We'd like to thank all our Eyewitness reporters for sending in those photos and encourage you to keep them coming. Now, as the government continues to harp on need for more people to get into agriculture, a new generation of farmers is needed who will come up with new ideas and innovation. Now, one example of that is an epidemiologist who has decided to contribute her quota to providing fresh food for urban areas like Abuja using a hydroponic system that enables her grow plants without soil. Her efforts help to conserve land and water.
Meet Angel Adelaja. She's an epidemiologist who left her professional career to get involved in farming to boost local food production. She and her team seek to lower the barrier to entry into agriculture for young and urban farmers by reducing sector risks through use of hydroponics and containerized vertical farming.
We chose this instead of planting outside is because, number one, it helps us to conserve space. So these plants, you would notice that 1 acre can usually do about 2,000 heads of lettuce. But with what we're doing here, one container, 20-foot container, which is about 14 square meters, is doing 3,000 heads of lettuce. So you take the bottom row, you now multiply it by 4, and you get, your crops.
Their method uses 10 times less land, 10 times less water, and less inputs, yet guarantees 15 times higher yields.
Then if you look at the crops as well, if I do it outside, I'm going to lose a lot of my crops because of the pests. So I'm always afraid that something's going to eat my crops. But you can see there is not one bite in these plants.
She gathers the waste from her poultry house plus other biodegradable waste, dumps it into this compost pit, from where she draws the solution which she adds to her hydroponic system in order to... They also share with other farmers to help them compete on the commercial scale in agriculture.
As a young person who wants to get into agriculture, I found it very difficult to get access to land. I found it very difficult to get access to water and all the other things that I needed to do effective agriculture. And even then, you realize that you're not making as much, you're losing your crops. So we started with greenhouses and hydroponic systems, and then we said, okay, how come we can't farm inside a container and retrofit it with a hydroponic system? So we just tried it. We've just been hacking our way through agriculture.
And this innovative farming technology is resilient to climate change. It also helps to recycle these boxes and other indigenous, locally found materials.
It was something that was helping us to be more eco-friendly. We were cautious of how much land we're using. We didn't want to go into the bush and clear land and destroy the forest. We wanted to be cautious about how much water we were using. We didn't want to keep irrigating the soil and then it just runs off and then we have to get more water. We wanted to be able to make sure that we're increasing our yield per hectare.
The idea behind this is bringing fresh, quality produce directly to those who need them. They harvest at least 120 kilograms per harvest per month. which is about 3,000 heads. So far, 88 companies buy her veggies in large quantities, and some individuals order as well. Food security, poverty, and migration are persistent issues in Nigeria.
I grew up in the States and I had a longing for Nigeria, and I really just want to improve my country and add to my country. If I could be using my brain there, I can be using my brain here. So the concept is, how do we develop our own spaces? How do we make sure that our own people have jobs? We're not going to wait for government to do it. We're not going to wait for anybody to do it. We're going to do it ourselves.
In February 2016, Adelaja moved to the next stage of the search. The young entrepreneur was one of the 216 applicants from Nigeria for the venture.
Being eco-friendly in a creative and innovative way. Well, residents of Obio Usiere community in Odukmani local government area of Cross River State are asking government to open up access roads to their community, which is surrounded by water. According to the community, the only major route to the village, especially at the peak of this rainy season, is through waterways. Tonight, our community report takes us to Obio Usiere, where residents search for paths to socio-economic development.
Etisola, now you're talking.
The journey to the Obio Usiere community in Cross River State is as complex as it is uncomfortable. The adventure begins with this bumpy commute on the Calabar-Itu Road to neighboring Akwa Ibom State. This is due to the absence of a connecting road network within the state to access the community. The next lap is a boat ride through the marshy and oily waterways. Fishermen wave in the distance. Our guide scoops to quench our thirst, a mix of water and oil. On arrival, it is not hard to see that a lot needs to be done to develop this community. Men chopping firewood show the absence of cooking gas. Fetching water from wells hints that there are no taps in homes. Families gather to peel cassava, which ends up in bowls for consumption. Signs that malnutrition is rearing its head. From this mud house bellows music, whose vibration is likely to disintegrate the walls. But the occupants need something to forget their plight.
All the boys in the community, no one has ever go to learn work, or because there's no head, you understand? So what we are suffering in this community, look at you sit down like this, because this is a town. We don't have where to come into the community, except from water.
The elderly here have lived with this for decades and do not know when things will change, if ever.
For many years ago, our children have been suffering, traveling about 10 kilos from this community to Atananayum, our administrative headquarters, for the secondary education.
One thing noticeable that this community is not in short supply of is children. The explosion of adolescents provides an insight into why the school and the health center are overwhelmed.
The school needs one more block for ECCD classes and primary 6. There is no accommodation for primary 6 class. The class is now using a library.
To enable them adequately provide for the children they have now. This may not seem like a problem to all residents here, but these women are aware and need government intervention.
The ladies say some of them they didn't have anything. Some of them they go to school, they didn't finish school. They didn't have anything to do. Anything that we go, that is the thing that we use and go to mouth. They didn't have anything. So anything they like, then they help us.
I want to work so that I'll use the money and send my children to school.
I need a medically help in my community, so that maybe like drugs for them to take and not getting pregnancy anyhow.
A family can be up to 7, and then the parents could not be able to take care of them. And then what should they do? They have to help themselves. You know, the women will go out and then go and then hang up with the men here. Before they know, unwanted pregnancy will occur.
And this matter is what the state government is making plans to address.
Now we have a lot of fistula cases in Cross River State, just like you have said, in communities. In most of our rural communities have teenage pregnancies a lot. Most of the time these pregnancies are unwanted or unplanned. And the Cross River State Ministry of Health and the Cross River State government is working towards actually looking into this and making sure that we have planned pregnancies.
It may take a while to get these residents to understand the importance of family planning. But one way the government could start is to provide the basic modern amenities for the community and engage the adults in activities that will improve their economy to enable them adequately provide for the children they have now.
Now you're talking.
As part of activities marking the 25th anniversary of Anambra State, Governor Willie Obiano has laid the foundation stone for the state's first oxygen plant. At the groundbreaking ceremony, which took place at the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital in Awka, Governor Obiano explained that the oxygen plant will play a critical role in reforming the state's health management system.
The Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Awka in Anambra State. This is where the proposed oxygen plant will be built. That's the reason why Governor Willie Obiano and his team are at the site to perform the groundbreaking ceremony.
This oxygen production facility has the capacity to produce 208 40-liter cylinders daily. This is more than enough consumption for Anambra State. And more importantly, it will be completed before Christmas.
A major step that will benefit both the students and residents of Anambra.
We don't have any oxygen production plant, and they know that oxygen is life, and in most hospitals they don't have any oxygen. And in terms of emergencies, in terms of newborn, in terms of resuscitation, we have challenges. So with this, we have depot of oxygen that can flow out for the both private and public facilities, and that will help in the improvement in the standard of care that we give to our people in general.
He's done so much for us in this particular institution. He supported us for the graduation of our medical students. We have the second batch now already graduated, and we are going next for the specialist training, which is coming up. The accreditation is coming up in 3 months' time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let there be light.
As night falls, Governor Obiano also lights the 3 flyovers that stretch from Awka to Amobia.
I plead with the community around here to help us support this initiative. I don't want any sabotage of any manner. I will hold you responsible if there's any sabotage. On our own, we'll put security around, but you know how it is. Now you need some support internally to be able to get this done.
Your Excellency, light symbolizes hope. It symbolizes peace, tranquility, progress, and success. That's exactly what Your Excellency epitomizes.
The anniversary celebration rounds off with a dinner party at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, where Governor Obiano solicits the support of all the people of Anambra State, both home and abroad, irrespective of party or religious affiliations, in order to move the state forward.
Next on the news at 10, Manchester City reclaims lead in the English Premier League following a 3-1 win over West Ham. That's on Sports News. Stay with us.